Hey everybody, it's Erin from Catawba Science Center, and I want to share with you something that kindergartners learn about when they come to Catawba Science Center on their field trips. And it's learning about density, but in a way that helps them learn about good describing words, how things move, how things feel, what materials are for, and different things like that. And like I mentioned, it's with density. So density is how tightly packed particles are in a certain amount of space. That's a word that kindergartners and younger kids know as particles, but older kids would know it as molecules or atoms. But they're the same thing, just different words. And this activity involves a lot of materials, and it can get a little bit messy, but I think the kids will really like it. You don't have to have the same materials that I have. I have corn syrup dyed red, and that is the hardest part, is dyeing corn syrup a color. It takes a couple hours. I have some cooking oil, which is yellow, and this is regular water with blue food coloring in it. And then I have some solids like a marble, some olives, and some marshmallows. And you can use any kind of shape or container to hold it. I happen to have a graduated cylinder. You could definitely use a small water bottle, and that's even preferred because it has a lid, because after you get done with this you can shake it all up, let it sit, and it'll go back to being the way it originally started. And you can put these items in any order. I'm just going to start with the blue one, and hopefully I don't make too much of a mess, but you can see that this water by itself, we can't really tell the density of it. But when we pour some oil in it, it's nice to watch. The oil is less dense than the water because it's sitting on the top, which, like I mentioned, sitting on the top is a good word for kindergartners to learn, or a good phrase. How things are in comparison to each other is one of their biggest things that they talk about. And I love putting this in because it goes all the way down like a lava lamp, down to the bottom. And I missed a little. It's making a mess. There we go. I'll use this so you can see a little better. That stuff is sticky. It will make a mess if you're not careful. But see how the red is on the bottom, then the blue, and then the yellow. And it's all has to do with how tightly packed those particles are in that material. So obviously the corn syrup is the most dense. And then the fun part is putting some different solids in there. If I put the marble in, bloop, it goes all the way down to the bottom. Bottom being another good word for kindergartners. I hate wasting a good green olive. It has the similar density as the water. And nice fluffy airy marshmallow, which is a really good way to think about density. You know it's not very dense because it's mostly air, and air is not very dense. It sits right on the top. So like I mentioned earlier, you could put a lid on this if you had put in a bottle, shake it up, and go all mixed up, and then after a few minutes it'd come right back to the original way you had it whenever it was settled. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a good day.